Hello everyone, I'm John Higgins, contributing writer to Film and TV Now, and I'm delighted to welcome one and all to this interview special with filmmaker Maria Brendle, whose short film ALA KACHUU, Take and Run, has been nominated in the Best Live Action Short category at the 2022 Academy Awards. The film is the tale of a woman in Kurdistan who has been kidnapped against her will and forced into an arranged marriage. Maria, a warm welcome to you.
Thanks for having me. Hello.
The film demonstrates much of the concerns about the rights and safety of the modern woman in a conflicted world. And I just wanted to know, when were you first aware of the problems that women from that region of the world are exposed to?
I heard about bride kidnapping after a friend of mine traveled through Kyrgyzstan, and he came back and told me about his experience. And he told me there's this tradition called bride kidnapping, and I was really shocked because I didn't know anything about that. And I started to research, and I learned that there are thousands of victims in Kyrgyzstan, in Central Asia, also in parts of Africa. And no one knows about this topic and about the fates of the girls and women. So it was not enough for me to just be upset. I wanted to change that. I wanted to change the fact that no one knows about this thing. So yeah, it was clear to me I have to make a film about that and create awareness of this topic.
Okay, and how much research did you do overall?
I started in 2016 and we shot it in 2019. So there were long years of research, more than 2-3 years of research until the script was finished and got translated into Kyrgyz. So after that moment, I couldn't change anything. So yeah, we're long years, and I learned a lot of or met a lot of Kyrgyz women and talked to them, and they wrote the script to be sure that it's an authentic story.
Mm-hmm. So obviously, obviously the title ALA KACHUU translates as bride kidnapping. I mean, obviously this is just one issue. And what other things have you noticed from that part of the world that need to be highlighted? Tell us a bit more about the culture and all that.
I think it's a circle of women. I learned when a woman got kidnapped, she accepts the fact that the younger girls and women have the same fate, because it's kind of, she survived that, so the younger girls can survive that too. And I think it's important to make a cut in this circle so that women stand behind each other and be strong for each other. And it's a country where generations had this this thing that a woman cannot decide anything without asking a man. So I think it's important that the women themselves get stronger and stand up for each other.
Mm-hmm. So let's talk a bit about your cast and tell us about how did you audition them? Were they local women? Were they actors?
Yeah, I was in Kyrgyzstan in 2018, and I had 3 days for making a casting, and it was an open casting, so everyone could come. And on this 3 days came 160 people. So it was a lot of work in this time. And there I found the most of the cast. So Alina, the main actress, she came on the first day, and it was clear to me, I want her. She has to make it. And the grandmother came on the first day. So I had some people in my mind really fast. But until from the casting until the shooting, there were a lot of time because we had to find money and all of this. And I'm very glad, I'm very, very happy that the actors were on my side the whole time. So this and of this, actually, when I came to Kyrgyzstan and shot it, I had the little parts like the boys, the friends from
Maria, are you still there?
yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, sorry about, we lost the thing. Carry on, that's fine, carry on.
Okay, so some women are victims of bride kidnapping, some women in the film. So it was an interesting experience to see how they bring her own experience in the film when we shoot it. They told us, when I got kidnapped, it was like that. So this cast, this whole team came together by a lot of own experience the real people made.
And let's talk a little bit about your production team. I mean, how big was it, and when did you put those together?
And the head departments like cinematography, sound, best boy, my assistant director, they came from Switzerland because of the language, because one of the biggest things was the language barrier. You have to deal with that. And of course, we had to be fast. We had not so much money. So they came from Switzerland, and we had this chance to prepare something and talk in the same language. And the rest of the crew, like production design, hair and makeup, costume, all of these people were Kyrgyz. So it was a mix from all over the world.
Okay, and let's talk about the spectacular locations. I mean, these were absolutely fantastic. I mean, really add to the atmosphere. I mean, tell us about the logistics of shooting in remote locations and your relationship with your aforementioned cinematographer.
Yeah, I drove through Kyrgyzstan to find some locations, so over days, and I really learned the people and the country. Learned a lot about the people in the country in this time. It was really an important experience for the film, and I saw some houses and locations where I wanted to shoot. But it's Kyrgyzstan, so things are changing every day. So I had the locations, and some few days before we want to go to Kyrgyzstan and shoot, they were gone. So I had a Swiss person living in Bishkek in Kyrgyzstan, and she had to go out and find new locations. So she make pictures and videos and send it to me, and I was like, yes or no. So she had a hard job because yeah, it had to fit into the script. So yeah, we found some locations 2 days before we shoot it, and other locations were longer clear to me. So it was an crazy experience for all of us, and the cinematographer and me, we had a long time in Switzerland. We watched all the videos and talked about how we can shoot it, but most of the things came on set because we had no chance to prepare a long time before we shoot it.
Okay, so obviously, how long did it take to make?
The whole film took me 4 years. Until from when I started research until finishing editing, it was 4 years. And now I'm 6 years with this film, going on this crazy experience to the Oscars. So yeah, a long time of my life, a huge experience. So we had years of research. We shoot it on 13 days, so 2 weeks. We had to be fast. Then we had a long time to edit this film because the editor and we were in Switzerland, not speaking Kyrgyz, so it was kind of a challenge to edit the film in a foreign language. And yeah, then sound design and music. So we finished in August 2020.
Okay, so obviously I read somewhere that you mentioned also about the bringing together of the two cultures. I mean, what are the virtues of the locals, and what did you discover from making the film as you were out there shooting? What did you discover? What were the big things?
The huge thing was the language. We couldn't speak in one language, so we always had this translation persons between us. And the second thing was, as a Swiss filmmaker crew, you're always on point, you're at the time, you have to be there, you're there. The Kyrgyz people are more easygoing. They are not like, oh, it's 8 o'clock, I have to be there at 8 o'clock. Maybe it's 9. So we had to find this way, come together. And we had a lot of women in our crew, a lot of heads, women had departments. And it was for the Kyrgyz people, it was a kind of a huge thing, because actually the men are the people in the important departments. So yeah, it was a good experience to see how this both cultures came together, because on the first day, as a woman, they don't shake your hands. A man don't shake your hand and say hello. You're a woman, you get ignored. And when we finished the shooting, we were one family, so we hugged each other. So there were no barriers between us anymore.
Okay, so let's talk a bit about your background. I mean, you received your bachelor's degree in film from the Zurich University of the Arts, and then a master's degree in cognitive neuroscience from the Academy of Neuroscience in Cologne. I mean, how does each discipline feed into your desire for storytelling? I mean, it's an amazing combination.
Yeah, I wanted to study neuroscience because I wanted to understand the brain and the psychology, how people work, because as a filmmaker, as a script writer, you imagine people, you create people. And I wanted to know how does a human being brain, how does a brain work? And so I was just curious and wanted to know that. So it's kind of a nerd thing maybe, but I wanted to know that. And also I wanted to know, how can I make some films and bring the characters closer to an audience. So kind of, how can I make a film which creates empathy by the audience? So these were the points I was interested, and so I studied neuroscience.
Okay, so obviously let's talk about, who and what are your key cinematic influences, and what was the first film you saw that said, this is what I want to do in my life?
I think I wanted to do films as I was a child, so there was no point like, okay, now this is what I'm gonna do in my life, because my grandfather had a Super 8 camera and he was always filming, and I always saw that. So there are many Super 8 films from my childhood. He always made that, and I just loved to have a camera in my hand and make some little movies. And yeah, so it was clear to me I want to make films. My parents were like, oh, okay. So yeah, and when I became age of 17 something, I started how can I make this? So which jobs are useful, which experience are useful, where can I study? So I always I always had that in my mind. I want to make film.
Okay, so obviously one of the big topics at the moment in the world in the media is diversity and gender. I mean, where do you feel progress has been made, and what do you feel needs to be done to help female filmmakers like yourself?
I think the best thing always is talk about issues, talk about women issues, talk about diversity, talk about all that, because we have to create awareness that only then things can change. So when we give a platform to some topics, when we give a platform to women filmmakers, when we have films in the theme where when they have diversity or people from different countries, colors, all of that, it's going to be like more normal that we see the things, that we don't only see the white man or something like that. So be visible, be there, talk to the people about issues who are important, give platforms to some female talents, for example, and all of this. So yeah, I think this is important.
Okay, so obviously for yourself, I mean, what would you like to explore in your upcoming work? Is there anything that you're focusing on in your next films?
Yeah, I want to write a feature film right now. It's about a woman. It's a historical theme in World War II, and I think nowadays it's important to talk about stuff like we all want freedom and peace on this world. Yeah.
Okay, and my final question is, obviously with everything that's going on with ALA KACHUU, and obviously I'm sure that on the night of the Oscars you're going to be out there and you'll be down the red carpet, but with your 6-year journey which you've told, I mean, it's going to feel very satisfying. But ultimately, what are you most proud of about this film?
I'm proud that I learned I can be braver than I thought I am. And I'm proud that so many people came together to work on a common goal. So this was an amazing experience, an adventure. And of course, it was a little bit dangerous. And we all, the production company, the producers, me, it was like crazy idea. How can we ever make a film from Switzerland shooting in Kyrgyzstan in a language we don't speak? So I'm proud of everyone who was involved in this amazing cast and crew and team. And I'm so happy because a lot of people from the crew are coming to LA, and I see the main actress again after years because of the pandemic. We were not able to travel, and yeah, it's going to be amazing to see everyone again.
Okay, well, thank you, Maria. I mean, I have to say thank you so much for your time and insight today. I apologize again for the loss in connection because I wanted to keep going, but we got there in the end. As mentioned, ALA KACHUU, Take and Run, is nominated for the Best Live Action Shorts Academy Award, and the ceremony takes place this year at the Dolby Theatre in Hollywood and Highland, Los Angeles on Sunday, March the 27th, 2022. Now, if you want to know more about Maria, you can visit her website, which is www.maria-brendle.de. and support filmmakers like Maria and everybody else. Short films are as important as features as they showcase great talents and concise storytelling. If you do get a chance, do watch the short here. And for more articles, interviews, and reviews, you can go to www.filmandtvnow.com, and you can see this and other interviews via my official YouTube channel, John Higgins Film Review. Thank you very much, Maria, and thank you one and all for watching.
Thanks for having me. Thank you.